We are tracking the tropics. We are monitoring Hurricane Milton very closely. But the big question for a lot of people in and around South Carolina and North Carolina and even parts of Georgia, will it affect our weather? So Milton stays south of the Carolinas at this point. Now the clouds will probably increase a little bit as we go into Wednesday, and then the clouds will start to decrease as we go into Thursday as Milton kind of moves away from the southeastern coast. Probably some breezy weather and maybe some coastal rain. That's the main impact across South Carolina as of right now. Here is the wind radii forecast for Milton, which is a major hurricane at this point. And as we do go through time, you can see those tropical storm force winds will start moving into parts of Florida. It looks like by early Wednesday morning, going to cut across Florida, bringing even some hurricane force winds, obviously, to parts of the Sunshine State. And then as we go into early parts of Thursday, a very small chance, a sliver of the South Carolina coast could have some tropical storm force winds, talking about a very small chance at this point. Here are the odds of tropical storm force winds across parts of the low country of South Carolina and the coastal region. Looks like the highest chance would be Hilton Head Island at this point. And again, low opportunities as this system does stay well to the south of us here in the Carolinas. Here's the latest forecast from the National Hurricane Center. So this is Milton's forecast, and this is Helene's track. So you'll notice a big difference. So this is not taking the same track that Helene did. This is a different path, but you'll notice it is going to be moving across Florida and stay a hurricane even as it does move into the other side of the state. So big time storm here. Last 24 hours, you'll notice how strong this has gotten. Well-defined eye right there. You can kind of see it in our satellite, or at least enhanced satellite image there over the last 24 hours. That is continues to gain some strength. Visible satellite shows a well-defined eye. Strong storm right here. Here is the 11 o'clock advisory for major hurricane Milton at this point. Has winds of 155 miles per hour, gusts up to 190, moving towards the east, southeast at about 9 miles per hour. So a dangerous and very strong hurricane at this point. Here's the latest forecast from the Hurricane Center. No major changes at this point. It is going to continue to move generally towards the, we'll say, east-southeast, possibly becoming a Category 5. It may at least glance or at least kind of hit a portion of the Yucatan Peninsula. That's something we'll have to watch. And then it's going to move towards the Florida Peninsula, possibly as a major hurricane, cross over the Florida Peninsula and remain a hurricane. And then as it does move out to sea, should start to weaken a little bit. So 155 mile per hour winds, that would be sustained with gusts up to 190. Again, a very strong hurricane. We do have those hurricane watches in effect for a large part of Florida. Here's a kind of a closer look at the forecast. At least the latest from the National Hurricane Center shows this system making landfall late Wednesday, possibly early Thursday, but looks like as of right now, late Wednesday. And keep in mind, you're going to have impacts all across parts of Florida. So it's not just where that little hurricane symbol's going. You're talking about impacts that are going to be felt all over parts of Florida. Spaghetti models, pretty good consensus here, although I will say a couple of them been trending a little bit farther south, but a lot of them are pretty much clustered in and around that thicker red line. That would be the official track from the National Hurricane Center. And you'll notice it does stay south of the Carolinas and Georgia. But again, this is going to be a storm worth paying close attention to. Storm watch in effect for the coast, at least the west coast of Florida into the Gulf of Mexico. And we do have those hurricane watches in effect. These will start to change as we get a little bit closer to late Wednesday, early Thursday. These will become warnings. So if you do have family or friends in this area, make sure they are taking precautions. I know there is going to, if there isn't already, there's going to be at least a lot of people leaving because of they're advising people to go ahead and get out of the way of this particular system. So for us here back at home, we'll have those winds kind of pick up a little bit by Wednesday. You're talking 10 to 15 miles per hour or so. And then as this kind of moves away from us in South Carolina, those winds will decrease. We also have what's left of Kirk There we go. This is kind of the northern part of the Atlantic, and they still do have Hurricane Leslie. Both of these do stay away from the continental United States. We also have this area that's kind of eastern part of the Atlantic. This would be the West African coast. Hurricane Center gives us about a 30% chance or a low chance of further development over the next 7 days. Back here at home, record high for today is 96, record low is 35, record rainfall an inch and 94 hundredths. We'll go ahead and put our forecast into motion for you. We have a cold front that's going to be moving through. As that cold front sneaks into the Midlands and South Carolina, can't totally rule out a very small chance for a stray shower. We'll make a verbal mention of that, but not expecting a whole lot of rainfall. Partly cloudy skies otherwise as we do go into Tuesday morning. Tuesday afternoon, mainly sunny as we look ahead towards Wednesday as Milton kind of crosses Florida and then moves into the other part of the Atlantic, at least the other side of Florida. Clouds start to increase. So mainly cloudy skies it looks like for Wednesday. But as you can tell from our in-house forecast model, not expecting any rain. Those clouds should decrease on Thursday. European forecast model shows dry conditions with only a small chance for rain along the coastal region. That would be associated with Milton at that point. American model shows Milton a little bit closer to South Carolina, bringing a little bit of rain to the coastal region of South Carolina. Right now, we're going to keep it dry for us. But again, there could be a little bit of rain along the coast as Milton does move away from us in South Carolina. 85 degrees yesterday. We're expecting temperatures to be mid to upper 80s later today. Haven't had any rainfall, at least any measurable rainfall at the Columbia Metropolitan Airport all month long. Highs in the mid to upper 80s above our average of 80 degrees. We'll be closer to average tomorrow once that cooler air starts to spill in. Mostly cloudy on Wednesday, and then as we do look ahead towards Thursday, Friday, a little bit cooler. Friday morning, lows possibly dropping into the upper 40s. Looks like upper 40s Saturday morning, and the weekend's going to be pretty warm. There will be rip current issues along the coastal region of South Carolina, along our area beaches. Dangerous and potentially life-threatening rip currents today. That will continue to be the case. So if you are heading to the coast over the next few days, keep that in mind. Beach forecast looking pretty good. A little bit of rain possible Thursday, but the weekend, highs in the mid to upper 70s near 80 degrees. Some showers in Charleston Thursday, but Saturday, Sunday, once again, looking good. Greenville dry with temperatures upper 70s and low 80s over the weekend. And then as we do look ahead towards the 8 to 14 day outlook, this will be October 14th through October 20th. Warmer than normal conditions, and we do expect drier than normal conditions as well. The leaves are starting to change. That's something to kind of look forward to, even though we're dealing with tropical weather. Low color right now in the upstate of South Carolina, extreme upstate of South Carolina, and then some patchy areas where there is some moderate color with those leaves starting to change. For most of us, we're talking early to mid-November as the leaves change, so we still do have a little bit of time. But Halloween, 24 days away, Election Day, 4 weeks from tomorrow, and Veterans Day is 5 weeks from today. But once again, the big story is Hurricane Milton, Category 4 storm at this point. We got those evacuations occurring in Florida. If you do have friends and family in Florida, make sure they're paying close attention to the storm, with these winds of 155 miles per hour with gusts up to 190. But for us here in South Carolina, little impact at this point. We'll have much more online and on air as needed. Have a great day.